In the headlines, the Welfare Division's mission significantly curtailed by COVID-19. Environmental health warns against disturbing trend of indiscriminate burning of backyard garbage. And ODM implements public awareness project to strengthen early warning systems. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Giving away $30,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you want to win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. And mettez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, total confirmed COVID-19 cases in Dominica remained at 16 over the weekend. On that date, active and recovered cases remained at 8. Number of people tested up to Saturday was 375. 359 were negative, with 152 contacts identified and 151 contacts cleared. There were 34 in quarantine. To date, Dominica has recorded no deaths related to COVID-19. In more top stories, a severe reduction in house visits by the Social Welfare Division due to the COVID-19 crisis. Julian Morris explains.
The Social Welfare Division deals with matters of childcare, public assistance and care of the elderly. In order to carry out its job effectively, officers of the division are to visit homes to do the necessary investigations and assessments to know how best to address any given situation. Chief Welfare Officer Leroy Morvan says due to the nature of COVID-19 and restrictions on movement, this has significantly reduced house visits except in cases of emergency.
We do not visit homes. We do not do any visits to the homes. What we do is persons would call via the telephone, but again, the service that you can offer over the telephone is limited because for us, we must do a physical visit to be able to assist persons effectively, and that is really hampering the work that we do at the division to a certain aspect. Also, in terms of childcare matters, even as we speak, we just received an emergency matter, which although we have this restriction, but we just couldn't sit back and not deal with it. So as we speak now, 2 officers are on their way to a certain community in Dominica to deal with that with the assistance of the police.
On the topic of childcare, the process of adoption of children or placing them in foster care has been affected.
The thing is, people wouldn't want to just take a child now into their care because, like say for instance, somebody come from overseas and when you come to Dominica, you must do the testing and the quarantine and so on. People can have the COVID-19 and not showing signs. So adoptive parents have that kind of, thing about them where they wouldn't want to take a child now to live with them, even if the adoption process was to go through, because they're not sure how healthy the child is in terms of COVID-19. No, but not only that, in terms of the courts, right now the courts are kind of not closed, but they operate on a kind of skeleton basis, So it wouldn't be of any sense that we'd be going to court now to do an adoption matter to that effect. Even if, let us suppose, a child would have to be placed into foster care, which is different from adoption.
During the state of emergency, individuals are expected to stay indoors and only leave home for specified purposes. Unfortunately for some, home is not the safe haven people expect it to be. Despite this, Morvan says there's not been an increase in reports of domestic abuse during this COVID-19 pandemic.
We have not received any increased reports, I must say. I am not saying that it may not be happening and people may not be reporting because in a lot of cases, some people kind of scared to report or they feel embarrassed to report and so on. But as per the reports that we have been receiving prior to the outbreak of COVID-19, we have not received any increase in reports to date. For elderly abuse and say physical abuse, no, we have not received any report. I know in terms of child care, yes, we received about 5 or 6 reports recently.
In more developments, food and nutrition security continue to be top priority for Dominica as the country continues to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Reginald Thomas, says provision has been made to allow for critical interventions at the farm level while social or physical distancing is observed. Thomas says national food security is important, but the quality of food we consume is also critical. He says particular attention needs to be paid to balancing our diet, which is key for a strong immune system.
Critically for the country, for the economy, we still need to maintain exports. We still need to feed the other people, our brothers and sisters, or even our Dominicans over in the Northern Caribbean, for example, who have depended on Dominica for food. And so we continue, we would like to would like the farmers to continue to produce so that food can be exported, as I said, to feed the people, but also as a means of sustaining our economy, sustaining ourselves, sustaining our livelihoods, continuing our own livelihoods. So this is where we are as it relates to agriculture and meeting our food security needs.
The Ministry of Agriculture is currently encouraging more backyard gardening.
Is intended for the backyard, for somebody with a backyard, and can hold some plants, but it also allows for innovation. So there is the opportunity to do container farming. There's the opportunity to do vertical farming. So the idea is to create that environment to allow the household to sustain its own food security, food and nutrition security, because as I indicated, we are very focused on a balanced set of crops. So we are that particular program, as I said, is not a commercial program to make you rich, but to look at your own specific home food and nutrition security. So the intention is to get a few food groups, get the main food groups, so the leafy vegetables, the cucurbits, what we call the cucumbers and the pumpkins. We're looking at some sweet corn, some beans. So it's a mix of crops to allow us again to create that kind of food and nutrition security at the home level.
Continued advocacy for employment and revenue generation among the private sector. This from the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, DAIC, as the private sector continues to feel the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Executive Director of the DAIC, Lizra Fabian, says another survey has been launched within the private sector to better inform its advocacy plan going forward.
DAIC acknowledges that the impact of COVID-19 on revenues and employment is significant and constantly changing. We seek to constantly support our membership and the private sector during this critical time. And one of the key ways we're doing this is through advocacy. And this is with the government and other partners, regionally and internationally. We believe that fundamental to this advocacy is timely and accurate data. As such, we have launched a second survey which looks at the impact of COVID-19 on revenues and employment. And we encourage our members and the private sector to respond to this survey. It's a very confidential survey, and it will help us to be able to optimize our advocacy to the government and our other partners mentioned before.
Ms. Fabian urged the members of the business community to participate in this survey as it will help the DAIC in its advocacy work on behalf of its members.
DAIC values the insights shared and requests that all questions be completed on or before Tuesday, April 21st. We have partnered with our telecommunication companies, and all who own a SIM for Digital or Flow would have received a text message requesting that they complete this survey. So we ask all our businesses to respond to this survey as it helps us to be able to advocate on the behalf of our private sector in the best way possible. We would like to thank all who have responded thus far, and we look forward to the completion of this survey by many more businesses.
Director of the Bureau of Gender Affairs believes the COVID-19 pandemic presents an opportunity to strengthen families. Melissa Morgan says while it is a stressful time, it could also create space for promotion of a more close-knit family.
We always talk about the negative impact of COVID-19, but there's also a very possible positive impact. You know, the social bonding that we can now have with our families, a situation that we never had before.
Right.
There is now opportunity to strengthen the parent-child bond, the bond between parents, you know, the bond within the home. And it is something that, you know, I encourage families to take advantage of. So this COVID, you know, the lockdown, the quarantine, I mean, it's in negative circumstances, of course, but, you know, we also have to look at, you know, how we can increase the strength of family or unity during this time. I mean, the family is the basic unit of any society, and healthy families, you know, lead to resilient countries.
Like the Welfare Division, the Bureau of Gender Affairs is concerned about victims of abuse. There is concern that due to COVID-19 and the shutdown of public school, abused children may now be at home with their abusers.
First, you should try to reach out, you know, the suspected survivor or victim. Try to reach out to them, talk to them, and see how you can be of assistance. For some persons, it takes a while to even admit to themselves that this is happening and this is wrong, and may even take longer to report it to you. So it takes a bit of patience. And if you're willing to do that, you know, I encourage you to reach out. If it's something that is life-threatening, then, you know, you have to report. It's mandatory reporting, especially if it involves a minor. So this is something that has to be immediately reported either to the Social Welfare Division or the police force.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on consacre l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner avec flow. Animateur on top up. Sign up, quittez yo. Every video join flow. It only gets better with flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Les moun qui ni TB estene et bien tout c'est, moun qui en bonne santé oli ouin ka respirer ces vermine là. Moun qui pa ni bon tempérament, kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fumer, ti mamay et grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun qui ka tousse ni pou prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique. Couvert bouche ou le ka estene et tousse. Visitez docteur et bien place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si mais maladie TB et HIV. Protéger corps et les autres.
With Flow, when a bag of money cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up,
$10 or more.
sign up,
Just switch to Flow.
get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow,
Win a bag of money.
cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Welcome back. A disturbing trend for the Environmental Health Department in the last 2 weeks.
The department has received a number of complaints about open burning of garbage in backyards.
COVID-19 is an acute respiratory illness which is caused by a virus, and this virus affects the lungs. So if you are burning, you are filling up the area, the community with smoke. My lungs is already filled with smoke, and I got an attack of the flu, or maybe, God forbid, COVID-19. It's going to take you straight to the cemetery or to the hospital where you have to be immediately placed on a ventilator. We do not want these situations occurring among us. So there are times when we have had people put off these burning bushes, these rubbish, and so on. You'll find one home has how many piles of rubbish burning at the same time.
Thomas warns against piling up refuse unless there is a vehicle waiting to take it to the landfill.
Do not pile them up, because when you pile it up in the first place, You are creating harborage for rats. And remember, we may have COVID right now, but we still have to concentrate on the other diseases because rats in themselves, they can cause the disease leptospirosis. And we don't want to be dealing with all of these ills in our society right now.
Thomas says breaking the law is not an option.
Look what we had last week. People congregating on the road and having a party, a wet fete and so on, putting other people at risk. Now, every one of them have to either pay a $500 fine, which they might not have, and end up in prison. Please, people, don't be stupid. There is a fine attached. The law will deal with you if you are found burning in the open. We investigate these complaints and right away we have people put out the fires. But the Department of Fire has laws where they can take you to task, where you may be fined, and it might not just be $500, but $5,000. Please, people, save your money. Do not practice open burning of garbage.
And a suite of natural hazard awareness programs to be released to the public soon. Here again is Julian Morris.
The United Nations Development Programme UNDP and its partners supported the ODM in carrying out its project to strengthen public education and awareness activities. Data collection and preparation of the information was conducted from January to March. Acting Program Officer at the Office of Disaster Management, Viola Pascal, says the information will strengthen early warning systems in the Caribbean.
Public education material was created in audio, video, poster and social media formats, highlighting safety and preparedness activities for hurricanes, floods, landslides, earthquakes, tsunamis and volcanoes. The focus, of course, is on building awareness on what people should do to prepare and what they can do to be safe during an event. The younger population was not left out, and a handbook was prepared for the grades 3 to 6 group entitled Prepare with Perry Parrot, a guide to natural hazards for primary schools. The aim is to make the information more appealing to the young ones by the use of a disaster management mascot, Perry Parrot.
Pascal says despite the region's focus on COVID-19, citizens must be mindful of and prepare for natural disasters, which the Caribbean is prone to.
At this time, we are mindful that the country is dealing with the effects of COVID-19. However, the public must keep in mind that natural hazards, such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanoes, can occur at any time or within a short warning period. And the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season is fast approaching. In this multi-hazard risk environment, safety and preparedness messaging must remain current in our minds and plans. The spirit of collective action is already evident in the COVID-19 response, so let us keep it going in this hurricane season as we all do what we can to be safe in this changing environment.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video join Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
To end the news, the headlines again. The Welfare Division's mission significantly curtailed by COVID-19. Environmental health warns against disturbing trend of indiscriminate burning of backyard garbage. And the ODM implements public awareness program to strengthen early warning systems. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.